The wind screams across the tall grass, bending every blade into submission, as if the earth itself trembles at what is to come. A small band of Australopithecus moves in silence, their dark silhouettes pressed low against the vast savanna. Their bodies glisten with sweat, their breaths heavy, but their eyes burn with hunger. Ahead, the distant shimmer of water promises survival, but between them and that life-giving source lurks uncertainty, danger, and the unknown. In this world, survival is a chain where every broken link means death. And here on the edges of Africa, 6.6 million years ago, lies a question that could reshape all of human destiny. What if these beings never dared to journey beyond this land into Europe? The band advances driven not by choice, but by the gnawing emptiness inside their bellies. Their fingers clutch sharpened stones chipped from nearby riverbeds, the first sparks of tool-making that separate them from the beasts they fear. A storm rolls in from the horizon, thunder rumbling like the footsteps of giants. They know they must move quickly, for storms here mean more than rain, they mean chaos. Lightning splinters the sky, illuminating a herd of antelope breaking into a stampede. Opportunity collides with danger. The Australopithecus scatter and reform their movements clumsy, yet united, chasing prey with guttural cries. The grass explodes with motion legs pounding against earth, until one hunter leaps forward swinging a stone. The antelope stumbles, but does not fall. The chase ends in failure, and frustration sears through the group. Hunger sharpens desperation. They retreat toward the riverbank, storm winds tearing branches above their heads. It is here that the first conflict rises not from nature, but from rivals. Another band emerges from the trees, their faces smeared with mud, their hands gripping stones of their own. Their growls are low, territorial, primal. The two bands face one another in silence, water rushing between them, thunder crashing overhead. For a heartbeat, time itself hangs on the edge. A stone is lifted, then dropped. Instead of violence, both sides drink quickly, retreating with wary eyes, locked in mistrust. Survival is not always measured by blood, but by restraint. Yet the tension lingers like a shadow that follows wherever they go. As the storm breaks into a torrent of rain, the Australopithecus find shelter in a shallow cave. Their bodies huddle together, warmth shared, as water drips from jagged stone. In the flicker of lightning outside, danger stirs again. A hyena, lean and desperate, prowls at the mouth of the cave. Its eyes glow in the stormlight, its jaws snapping with hunger. The band presses close, hands clutching stones, throats rumbling with warning growls. One brave figure surges forward, slamming a rock against the wall sparks, and sound startling the predator. The hyena snarls, hesitates, then slinks away into the storm. Victory is fleeting, but it is enough. For tonight, they are alive. Yet survival is not only about enduring the night. It is about what comes next, the choices that determine whether a band remains bound to the soil of Africa or whether they cross rivers, mountains, and seas to spread into distant lands. For now, the band sleeps unaware that their decision to stay or to move could decide the fate of all humankind. Dawn breaks in silence, the storm reduced to a memory etched into the soaked earth. The Australopithecus band emerges from the cave. Their bodies stiff, but their eyes sharp with new urgency. The land glistens, rivers swollen, the air heavy with the smell of wet soil and broken vegetation. Hunger pushes them forward again, their stomachs twisting as they scan the plains. A flock of vultures circles overhead, and the band follows instinctively, knowing that where the scavengers hover, there is flesh. They arrive at a carcass, a wildebeest brought down by the storm's fury. its broken body half submerged in the mud. The band descends with frantic energy, clawing and tearing sharp stones, splitting hide. The taste of raw meat floods their mouths, primal satisfaction, mixed with the fear that predators are never far from such feasts. As they eat, the second great conflict of their journey erupts. From the tall grass comes a roar that freezes blood. A lion mane darkened by rain bursts forth with terrifying power. The band scatters, but one member is too slow. The lion's jaws snap shut on air as a stone crashes against its flank, thrown by another desperate hand. The beast turns snarling, its golden eyes blazing. The hunters regroup in frantic unison, encircling the predator with shrieks and flying stones. For minutes that stretch like eternity, they hurl their meager weapons until the lion, wounded and enraged, retreats with a furious roar. Silence returns, broken only by ragged breathing. The band has survived, but the cost is clear. Their existence teeters always on the knife's edge, where the line between predator and prey shifts with each heartbeat. They move on scarred by the encounter, yet emboldened by survival. The landscape changes as they travel grasslands, giving way to sparse woodland rivers cutting across their path. They climb trees to escape the midday heat, stripping fruit and cracking nuts with stones, then descend to search for roots in the soil. Every act is survival, every gesture a lesson passed from one body to another. Yet unseen forces shape their destiny. The rains grow heavier, the dry seasons harsher, food scarcer. The world demands movement. It demands migration. And here lies the question that haunts the shadows of their journey. What if these beings never step beyond Africa's cradle? What if they remain bound to this soil, never crossing into Europe's valleys and forests? The course of evolution itself would bend. The spark that might have ignited on foreign lands would remain only a whisper in the wind. The band reaches a river swollen with floodwaters. The current is fierce, churning, with branches and foam a barrier between what is known and what lies beyond. They hesitate, staring at the rushing torrent, fear and instinct colliding. One member tests the edge, dipping a foot, the water pulling like claws. The decision hangs heavy. To cross is to risk death. To remain is to accept the limits of their world. The band lingers, their bodies trembling, not from cold, but from the weight of destiny unspoken. The river roars louder than their cries, a living wall that dares them to attempt passage. The Australopithecus stand at its edge, mud sucking at their feet, eyes shifting between the current and the safety of the shore. Hunger gnaws again, driving them toward risk, for beyond the river, the land appears greener, the trees fuller, the promise of survival stronger. One figure, lean and scarred, moves first. He grips a branch as if it were a lifeline and steps into the torrent. The water seizes him instantly, dragging his body downstream in a furious spiral. The band screams in guttural panic, their bodies surging toward the bank, but the current is merciless. The figure disappears beneath the foam, and silence grips the survivors. Fear binds them more tightly than hunger ever could. They turn away from the river, defeated, choosing safety over the unknown. This moment becomes a turning point. The band chooses not to cross, not to explore what lies beyond, but to root themselves deeper into Africa's soil. Days pass, and they adapt to what the land offers. They build routines around rivers and fruit-bearing trees, fashion sharper flakes from stone, and carry water in cupped leaves. They learn which plants soothe wounds and which roots ease hunger. Slowly, they stitch survival into ritual. Yet the cost of staying becomes visible. Other bands, stronger and more daring, press into new territories. Rival groups fight for food and space. Scarcity breeds conflict. Battles of stone against stone echo across the grasslands. Those who survive the clashes huddle together afterward, pressing wounds with herbs, their breaths heavy with exhaustion. Seasons turn, storms return, predators circle in endless hunger. The band endures, but the choice to remain instead of crossing means their story is one of repetition, not expansion. Their tools sharpen, but their horizons do not. They become masters of endurance, but not of exploration. The myth that could have been written across continents remains etched only in the dust of Africa's plains. Yet in their survival, there is a different kind of legend. Around the firelight of their gatherings beneath the vast star-filled sky, their children learn the rhythm of survival. They share the meat of the hunt, the sweetness of fruit, the strength of togetherness. Laughter rises after fear, warmth after storms. Life is not only about conquest, it is about the bonds forged when survival itself is victory. The band curls together beneath the stars, their breaths slowing, their bodies weary, yet alive. They do not know the paths never taken, the lands never touched, the worlds never shaped by their hands. They only know the circle of survival, the pulse of existence within Africa's cradle.